Okay.
To do that. Okay, so let's begin. Hello, Santa Barbara. This is Alexis Tandy with the WhipSB. And Santa Barbara, we are winding down to Election Day on November 2nd for mayor and city council seats for districts 4 and 6. Here's the deal. There are over 6,000 of you registered. Okay, and last election, only 2,000 of you showed up. Okay, so let's show up, because this is for every 5 years now, and the next time you have an opportunity to vote is in 5 years from now. Okay, so the WhipSB is kicking off closing statements, and we are beginning where we began with Deborah Schwartz, our first ever Instagram Live couple months ago. So welcome, Deborah. Thank you for taking the time. I know this is seriously ramping up for you. How are you doing?
Great. Well, thanks again. I feel like we sort of bookended. We started the IA Live experience, and thanks to you and the WhipSB. And I was thinking back, Alexis, over the 10 months now since I first announced my candidacy. And at first it felt like it was going to be a marathon year. And all of a sudden it became a sprint. And you said winding down, but in a way we're winding up, right? Because depending upon November 2nd or thereabouts, turns out there's going to be a real wind up with the new mayor and council seated come January, depending upon what happens. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting 5 years, and it's been a terrific honor for me to meet with so many residents and business owners throughout the year. I have been spotlighting all these months, as you know, what I see as critical issues facing our city. I've talked about the 3, what I call crises: homeless on our streets with serious untreated mental health and drug addiction issues, and a growing shortage of workforce housing, which is a concern of mine as well. And then also we have kind of uncertain economic times, especially for our small businesses, which are the lifeblood of our community. So we still face all of those issues. And I'm encouraged that after I've been discussing these 3 crises and the challenges but opportunities that face us, that many of the other candidates have now brought these same issues forward and included that in their messaging and in the candidate forums. So this is a good thing for Sam.
A question. I have to confess that in all the different debates that I've been watching, it's all starting to sound the same. And I want to know if specifically, is there anything else that differentiates you that we haven't heard before?
Well, one thing that I have discussed a lot in my endorsement interviews and in private meetings, perhaps even more than candidate interviews, is process. And I referenced a quote from former Mayor Helene Schneider at a forum this week, which is that meetings don't run themselves. For our city to move forward effectively, constructively, requires a different kind of process that's between the mayor and council, and also inside City Hall, that is from senior administration overseeing our technical staff more efficiently and effectively. With all due respect to the other challengers, my candidate colleagues, I don't believe that any of the others have the background and skill set, along with temperament, to prepare for meetings, as I have on Planning Commission through the years, and to collaboratively, cooperatively, and effectively facilitate difficult conversations with council colleagues that bring us to decisive actions in a timely way. You've heard me say that leaders anticipate problems before they become emergencies or crises. That takes a certain skill set. it takes a certain kind of person, and I believe that I bring that uniquely to that I will be ready day one. I don't need on-the-job training. With all due respect, again, to my colleagues, there are others who need a lot of on-the-job experience and training. We can't afford that. And so should I be so fortunate to earn the voters' confidence November 2nd, that's, I think, what I would uniquely bring.
You know, I think it's amazing anyone that throws their hat in the ring, because that means they just care so much about Santa Barbara. So I just want to say thank you for that. And I know you've given everything to this campaign in the spirit of leaving no stone unturned. Is there anything else you want to leave on the table for our WHIP followers?
Yes, thank you, Alexis. I've been thinking about sort of what I would like to share with you and the viewers and Santa Barbarans in general, because I'm already starting to look back kind of in the rear view mirror, as we're also needing to look forward, not knowing the outcome of November 2nd, or maybe we won't even know November 2nd, by the way. It really will depend on how votes are coming in and what's uncounted. I am such a staunch supporter of the democratic process, democracy in action. And even though there's now what I call a crowded field of mayoral candidates with 6, I think that competition is inherently good, because it forces all of us to dig really deep and ask ourselves what propelled us into this endeavor, you know, especially in the second year of a global pandemic. And who are we? And to your question, how do we differentiate ourselves? What do we have to offer that resonates with voters, that's responsive to voters? And as I've been talking to so many voters throughout all 6 districts, and these are residents, they're business owners, I continue to ask myself, and through the candidate forums, you know, what are my unique differentiators? And most importantly, regardless of the outcome, have we all been able to influence the public discourse? And I know this is very important to you with the WhipSB. This is exactly why I think
exactly what we are
about this informally when we had our little coffee chat some weeks back. This is what a crowded field can bring to the public, to public discourse. And if we've all shifted somewhat in a more positive, productive, responsive direction to actually serving the community, because many do not feel well served. That's why it's such a competitive race, I think, this year. The community is yearning for a more engaged, responsive local government, city leadership. So I hope that whoever prevails can embrace and take away some of this this shift. And I think it's been good pressure, quite frankly, for all of us.
I agree. We've all got to learn so much about Santa Barbara, see all the different perspectives. I mean, the more people who come to the table, the more we all learn. So a crowded field, I know there's been criticism both ways, but I agree with you, Deborah. I think it really pushes, you know, affordable housing, homelessness, and how we deal with it in so many different, there's so many different aspects to it. Let's bring it all to the table.
And I'm just hoping, Alexis, that between the WhipSB and neighborhood organizations and more, that we can find ways to increase community engagement, because whoever prevails in the mayor and council races, we're only going to be able to serve the community effectively to the extent that the community itself is motivated to remain engaged, to feel like they have a meaningful voice. That's what's key. So I'm very optimistic about all of that. And that's what keeps me going every day through the long hours. As you know, I'm up early and remain up late responding to emails and preparing. And so it's feeling really good again, regardless of the outcome. It's been an honor and to have the kind of support that I have. And I'll look to continue to support our community in whatever way seems to be most effective. This is my last and 12th year, as you know, on the City Planning Commission. So I'm going to be retiring at the end of this year from Planning Commission and handing the baton off to whomever the council decides is, should fill that seat. And so it's just, it feels really good again. And I appreciate all the media engagement, including you and the community at large.
Well, I just want to say thank you for caring enough to put your head in, throw your hat in the ring, and taking the past 10 months and to really engage the community. That's what we need. And the people that are running, they really care. So a truly heartfelt thank you to you. We will continue to watch you and wish you the very best of luck. And we have so enjoyed getting to know you, just personally. I have enjoyed getting to know you, and I look forward to keeping these conversations alive in the ethos.
Yes, and I think if I could say, Alexa, since you and I have very personally and very candidly share some similar family stories in some of these difficult areas, that will continue to lean on each other and to I think that's very important, and I look forward to that. Thank you.
100% in, as is I think other people learning from it, and count me in.
Thank you again. I really look forward to seeing you again for another coffee gathering. Yeah. Let's do that. Okay stay.
Thank you. Thanks everyone for joining.
Thank you, Alexis. Bye.
So if you are stumped by this, if you are intimidated, please reach out. You can reach out to us on our website.